Companies move private data from internal servers to the cloud, the security can be compromised. According to CNET, one of the best tech magazines out there, in a recent incident, thousands of fingerprints were exposed on the internet, and with information like that, tech-savvy bad guys could get access to everything from your cell phone to sensitive personal records.
Percentage of intelligence that is not human is increasing, and eventually we will represent a very small percentage of intelligence. I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile. I tried for years.
Keeping up with the latest technology are leaving private information exposed for all to see. While shifting sensitive data from internal databases to cloud-based servers, there have been a number of incidents where IT staff have left private material exposed on the web. For moments, or sometimes months, personal data has been live on the internet without the protection of passwords or encryption tools. In a recent case, Antheus Tecnologia left a web server containing about 76,000 unique fingerprints exposed on the internet. It claims to be the first Brazilian company to be certified by the FBI. In all, the database contained approximately 16 gigabytes of sensitive information. And this is not the first time fingerprints have been left unsecure. Back in 2015, a breach at the U.S. Office of Personnel Management saw more than 1 million fingerprints and background checks of federal employees stolen by hackers. In a similar incident, an estimated 145,000 records of drug rehab patients were leaked. The information included names of those seeking help at various addiction treatment centers across the U.S., along with the types of treatment people were prescribed. In total, nearly 5 million records were exposed. The list goes on. In Peru, an unsecured database left the personal information of thousands of moviegoers open on the internet. The data included full names, email addresses, unencrypted passwords, partial payment information, and government ID numbers. In the UK, the records of over 900,000 Virgin Media customers and even potential customers were left for everyone to see for a span of 10 months, ending this past February. Phone numbers, addresses, and emails were all there. If it falls into the wrong hands, this kind of data could be used for blackmail or phishing attacks. Phishing is where scammers use the information to contact targeted victims, most often using phone, text, or email. With attackers usually masquerading as a trusted source like a bank or government office, their goal is to trick victims into giving them personal information such as login info and credit card numbers. As for the Antheus Tecnologia fingerprint leak, the company says the prints in question were not from customers but rather from their own development team and a partner. The company has also stated that it used security techniques to make it cryptographically impossible to obtain the original image. However, according to experts, those with strong tech know-how could use the data in question to unveil biometric images of fingerprints. With every fingerprint being unique and permanent, that kind of knowledge could be potentially used to exploit an individual for years. Right now, even with a clear image, hackers might have a hard time utilizing fingerprints to get what they want, but this might soon change. Those in the know say that eventually hackers who steal your fingerprints will have access to information on your phone, computer, or other devices that use fingerprint recognition. And with that, access to some of your most sensitive information.
The coffin lid was unsealed and ever so carefully lifted off. Inside, a perfectly intact mummy, wrapped in fabric with a bit of skull showing.
Listen, Molly.
Tell me.
I'm very happy, I'm very proud of this discovery.
Dr. Mustafa Waziri led the Egyptian team that discovered the coffins. His team was digging in the area, but not for that. First, someone spotted a painted wooden face.
So they went to the east, they said, this is the beginning of one out of 18 wooden coffins. How deep? They said it's only 3 feet. Then I came with the Minister of Antiquities, quickly take those 18 coffins away. And then beneath them, there were 12 another coffins. They were like that.
So two layers.
2 layers, exactly like this.
The 2 layers of coffins, 30 in all, including 2 children, hidden in a cachette to protect from thieves and looting. Also protected from the elements, blues, greens, and reds, vibrant 3,000 years later.
Look at the edges of the leaden base.
Yeah.
No missing pieces. It means no termites, which is the termites, they were the most dangerous.
Termites love wood.
Love what? Of course.
Now the work begins. Who were these people? Archaeologists know they were powerful, fairly certain they were priests. But what did they die of, and are there more nearby?
Just in front of one of the most famous temples in the Valley of the Kings, those mummies were found almost right in front, just a few hundred yards that way. But the entire thing is basically an active excavation site. Check it out over there. And archaeologists say they haven't even found half of what might be buried here.
Meanwhile, tonight there's a different type of light therapy that is sweeping the health industry, making enormous claims about what it can do for its patients. But is it, as is often the case, too good to be true?
Experts are utilizing low-level light therapy to treat pain. And now researchers believe this technology can do even more, possibly help put an end to opioid addiction. More than 130 people die every day from an opioid-related drug overdose. In 2018, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services reports a whopping 10.3 million misused opioid prescriptions. And more than 47,000 people died from overdosing on opioids. After regulations made them harder to get, once addicted, some turned to heroin and other street drugs. And from February of 2018 to 2019, more than 15,000 deaths were attributed to overdosing on heroin. But as the U.S. continues to search for a solution at the federal level, alternative health centers are encouraging people in pain to not rely on pills. Instead, a low-level light therapy called Novathor helps to promote healing within your body's own tissues.
Everything we do here, including the Novathor, accelerates the rate of repair, accelerates the tissue repair, helps our immune function, helps our lymphatic function, gets our body working a little bit more efficiently, more effectively, kind of like drug-free pain relief.
Andrew Gervin, manager at U.S. Cryotherapy in Studio City, injured his knee while playing basketball. After his surgery, he was prescribed opioids.
I remember when I personally took the pain pills, after about 3 days of them, I got so sick and nauseous, couldn't read, look at a TV, or just lie in bed and just dizzy, and I got pretty ill from them, so that's a big reason why I stopped, taking them and turned to alternative things like this.
Wildfires are sweeping through the Amazon rainforest at an alarming rate.
In 2019, images of the burning Amazon shocked the world.
There's a major tragedy going on in the Amazon, which is really the lungs of the earth.
The Amazon rainforest itself is reaching a tipping point. If much more deforestation happens, the ecosystem would collapse.
But inside Brazil, the global outcry raised a different kind of alarm. Foreign meddling.
Esse é boom de vadio que eles não querem saber de árvore, eles querem saber do minério do Brasil.
Look at how huge they are. And it's emboldened further deforestation under the banner of a nationalist economic agenda.
Nós temos o direito de adotar políticas para essa área que nos interessam.
The present position is we have to develop the Amazon.
We've just passed about 7-8 kilometers of trucks at a standstill. It's just insane. But the Amazon's industrial expansion isn't exactly what it seems.
So it seems as though there's a lot of unwitting complicity, regular Americans like you and I.
That's right.
There's a broad consensus that says that we're reaching a tipping point.
Não há. Não tem queimada, não tem fumaça, não tem nada. Olha o céu como está bonito, lindo.
What would be the headline you would give where we are today?
Totally unfamiliar. The scale and the magnitude of the fires themselves are completely unprecedented.
Yeah.
There's many different ways that you can measure this sort of thing, but of course, when it comes down to it, you sort of have to move past the numbers, which are all setting incredible records, and think about the things that you hear. So I moved away from Australia a few months ago, but of course I have a lot of friends and family back home, and I'm hearing things and learning of things that just seem completely, I have no real way of understanding them. The venue that I got married at was severely damaged and possibly may not reopen in the future. The place where I went on my honeymoon, the main street of the town, mostly burnt down.
To the search for survivors after those deadly tornadoes hit Tennessee. We now know one of them was an EF4 with winds reaching 175 miles per hour. Victor Oquendo is in Putnam County.
Good morning, Robin. They took the brunt of that EF4 right here. Homes were blown away, shredded, reduced to piles of debris and rubble. Of the 25 people who died across Middle Tennessee, 18 of them were right here in Putnam County. And as you take a look from above, you'll understand why. This neighborhood was decimated, 360-degree devastation. There is nothing left, and there are still people missing. This morning, an urgent search for the missing after at least 2 devastating tornadoes in Tennessee claimed the lives of at least 25 people.
It's horrifying.
These exclusive new thermal images from a drone police are using to help find those who might still be trapped in the rubble.
I've done a lot of these since Hurricane Katrina, hurricanes and tornadoes. This is probably one of the worst tornado scenes I've seen.
Grandson, youngest, my son-in-law, and their babysitter.
I'm so sorry.
Both my nephews lost their parents in one night. One storm killed them both and all.
Lamar Redman losing his sister and brother-in-law, Kathy and Keith Selby.
This is the front porch, and beyond that porch was the home itself.
It's gone.
It's completely gone.
The youngest victim, just 2 years old. Sawyer Kimberlin died, along with his parents, Josh and Aaron. But amid the tragedy, harrowing stories of survival.
If we hadn't woken up, or we'd be gone. You know, there's no way we'd even be here. I woke my wife up, and we just took off running down to the basement.
73-year-old Jean Gregory's husband, Frank, using himself as a human shield to protect her.
So he came in and he dragged me off the bed and threw me on the floor, got on top of me, and we rode it out.
That couple somehow lucky enough to walk away without a scratch. Search crews will be out again later this morning. The way one neighbor put it, life as they knew it here is gone.